So today we're doing the clay box, right? And it's a clay box about yourself. So first thing you're going to start is to put your clay into a ball because you're going to make a pinch pot. Now, we made pinch pots if you were in my class. Some of you made pinch pots in kindergarten. Some of you may even have made it in second grade when we did the little animal cup thing.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, okay? So that's the start of this. But it's going to be a little different because we're going to try to do it into the form we want it. So if you want just kind of a mound, then you're okay with just keeping it like this shape. If you want it more cube-like, so it looks more like a box, you're going to get that into a cube-like thing right now and get it kind of cubish to start with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do pinch pot still, and I'm going to press in, and I'm going to pinch the sides to make them come out further. And now, since I'm in my head, I'm thinking, yes, I still want this cube-like. I'm not going to go way out of the cube shape. Okay, now I need to close this up. So to close it up, I'm going to take the clay and start pinching it towards the middle and close it up. Now, if it doesn't close up perfectly, it's okay, because when I open it up like a box, I can smooth things out on the inside that might not have been smooth before. So I'm going to take this and move the clay so it kind of fills it in, okay? And then I'm going to gently tap it on the table. See how it smooths it out? So I'm going to tap it. Now, this form is hollow, meaning that there is air inside there. Okay, so there's air inside there, so I can tap it a little bit and it will pretty much stay together. The air will help hold the edges, the sides up. So now I'm going to get my shape, my form, since it's three-dimensional, the way I want it. Okay, if it looks like it's cracking a little bit, just wet your finger. Don't drop the whole thing in the water because that'll make a mess. Just use your finger. See how that's smoothing that out? And I can tap it a little more and I'll smooth it out. I'm going to tap here. So now I have this shape, right? Okay, it's all about trying to keep the form that you want it. So I'm going to cut the top of this box off. So we talked about you can just use a pencil to get the basic form that you want, and then you're going to have to cut it with the knife. Either one of the blue knives, or I'll have these knives out too.
With a pencil.
So I'm going to draw a line to create the opening of my box. I don't want it just a straight line because then the lid of my box will just slide off. Nothing will catch it, and then things start to break. So I'm going to kind of do a wavy line on this side. I did one little bump on that side. This side, I might go up and go like a zigzag. And I'm just making them whatever you want. You could do a wavy line all around it if you want. That's up to you. Okay, now I have my line. I'm going to carefully take the knife and I am cutting in. And I'm taking my time, because if you don't take your time, you're going to end up squashing it and have to start over again. Okay, so I have cut through partially, and it'll slowly, if anything's caught, I'll just use my knife and cut a little more. Okay, now I have the lid, and it's a little box. If I want this to be, I don't want to mess it too much, but I can take some of that clay out if I'd like to make it a little thinner. I can take some of this clay out if I want to make it a little thinner. So using these special wire tools, you can clean out some of this clay if you feel like it is a little too thick in here and you want your box bigger. So with a wire tool, it kind of grabs the clay and pulls it out without messing up the outside shape, because we don't want to mess up the outside shape because that's what's then we can fix it. Remember, it's clay, so if you mess up the outside shape, you always can fix it. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and pull this. Okay, I'm gonna smooth this edge, but I'm not trying to smooth out the bumps too much. I just want a smoother edge, and I'm gonna try to keep it because I want the two sides to fit really well. One thing we don't want to do though, if this is really wet and I make the lid really wet, I don't want to put them together because they're gonna get stuck together, right? So I might have to let this dry a little bit before I do that. Whoops. Okay. So I have, okay, now I'm kind of liking how my box looks. Now I need to work on the lid a little bit. So I can take some of this clay out of my lid because I don't need that, all that clay. Okay. Okay, with this, okay, now I kind of have them the shape and size I want. Now I got to see if they still fit together. So this side kind of goes with this side. Okay, now I have a couple of gaps. So I'm just going to press the clay to make sure it kind of fits together. And then I'm going to pull it apart to make sure I can pull it apart. But now they're closer to how they're supposed to be. At this point, I'm going to let them, I have my form done. Next step would be decorating.